Tigers to the grave. We're taking this jet boat tour here in Oregon. Night before the game. Go Tigers, beat the NFL Academy, y'all. Show y'all around here. These things are supposed to be fast. We're picking up speed already. I think that might be downtown Portland right over there.
My name's Captain Charles. Welcome to Willamette Jetboats. Who here has been with us before? I just want to see about 8 to 10 bridges and learn a little bit about the river and the town here called Portland. This is ocean-going water, so in about 12 miles we hit the Columbia River, and then the Columbia River goes to the ocean. It's the fourth largest river in the United States. This one here is the 13th largest river. 80% of all Oregonians live within 20 miles of the Willamette River, so it's extremely important for our state. It's what makes Portland a port town. You got big ships coming in. We'll talk about bridges right now. This first bridge is coming up is the Hawthorne Bridge, built in 1910. It's pretty old. 114 years old. Think about it. It was built before most cars were on the road. So this bridge is, still operates every day. In fact, it goes up every 8 hours like this. That center section over there on the right-hand, left-hand side is one of the sections that goes up, and it's called the counterbalance center lift. So that whole flag section goes up with the red bricks going down, pulling it up, and vice versa. It's a really strong bridge. It's never been upgraded other than just paint jobs every once in a while. That's a center left counterbalance. The next bridge coming up is the Morrison Bridge. That's a fast.
Oh yeah, you see that water. Here we go, y'all. Massillon Tigers to the grave, y'all. We not playing. We out here.
Grain elevator here. Over here on the right side is where we auger out the grain off barges, and then it goes up into these concrete silos. This is only we get grain by barge here. We have some that get grain by train as well. We do mostly wheat out of here, called hard red winter wheat. Comes out of Canada and all places that connect to the Columbia River, such as Montana and Idaho, Washington, Oregon. You may not know this about Portland, but we're the second largest exporter of grain in the world. New Orleans is number 1, we're number 2.
I've learned something today.
I've learned a lot today.
Over the ocean is where a big ship will come in and fill up with grain, and then they'll take it off up in Columbia to the Pacific Ocean. And from there, it'll go places usually to Asia from here. Cement. Cement is the fine limestone powder substance. When mixed with sand and rock, they make concrete. This ship came in from China, fully loaded with cement. And what you're looking at on the dock here is a vacuum system. On the left-hand side is an articulating arm that is run by remote control, and basically sucks the vacuum out the powder out of the ship. The gray cylinder is a vacuum. This ship, the Columbia River, came in a couple days ago, and the red paint was completely under the water up to about the 10-meter mark. It's now at 7 meters. It'll leave here at 3 meters, so it'll raise up 7 meters higher when it leaves versus when it came in fully loaded. The red paint's a special paint. It's covered or infused with copper, and that inhibits the growth of sea algae. At the, most of it spends most of its time under the water. We're going to get out to our shipyard in there and we'll see how they pull these ships out of the water. Over here on the right-hand side, you got a military transport vessel just fresh out of the dry dock. This thing was freshly painted. This is Swan Island over here on the right. We're going to be going around it. This one's freshly painted. The one up ahead is not. Dry dock, they'll do a lot of preparation work. Stacks up top. This one's a supply ship. This kind of ship will go out at sea, and these black hoses over here on the right will get ported over to an aircraft carrier and loaded up with jet fuel while moving at sea at about 6 to 8 knots.
Getting wet now. Oh gosh. Yeah, that's definitely a dry dock.
This is a dry dock, everyone. This is how they pull the ships out of the water. What happens is the old platform goes down the water about 25 feet by filling it up with water. There's a big bladder underneath, and the walls can all get sunken in. They'll float the ship in while it's full of water in there, and then they'll pump all the water out of the dock and lift the ship right up. You can see the bottom of the ship. The red paint's almost worn off, and it's definitely in need of a new paint job. That red paint is special copper infused paint, and if it's not on the ship, that will growth will happen, and the ship will be almost very, very slow in the water. So it's important that they get these ships out every 20 years or so and repaint them. This is one of the largest dry docks in the world. It's called Vigorous, and I've seen everything from Princess Cruises in here to ships way bigger than this, so much that they're sticking out about this far out of it. So it's pretty cool. Platform called Vigorous was towed across the ocean from Japan when they built it. So it's a floating dock basically, which is able to fill up and empty out of water and keep your stuff.
And you can put water in there and pick up ships.
If you look over on the right side here, you're going to see some really cool amphibious tractor boats. Got wheels, they got shark faces on them, very cool. The military has the cool stuff. ship is a 1950s era ship. You can tell by the rivets on the side, but it's outfitted with sophisticated satellite technology. And this thing can go out the ocean and see halfway around the globe from Earth, and then triangulate with satellites and relay that data to any destroyer ship if there's incoming threats. So it's kind of a land-based satellite tracking ship, if you will. Just went around two-thirds of Swan Island. Swan Island used to be Portland's first airport. And during World War II, we built Liberty ships here, which were supply ships for the Allied forces. And now it's basically the ship repair, painting, and storage. We store a lot of military equipment out here on fresh water because it's easier on the metal. Salt water can be really tough on metal and electronics. Extends the life if you on fresh water. Got a U.S. Coast Guard detachment over here on the right. Alright, who's ready to try some spins? On the pilings and down by the water levels, got some flair to it. Coming up on the right-hand side is Cathedral Park, which is where all these bridge pilings, like church cathedrals going through this area. That whole park used to be a dump back in the day, and they filled it in, covered it with dirt, and put the bridge over it. And still harvest methane gas off this area for auto demolition coming up.
Tigers set a grave. Yeah, I'm soaked, but we having fun, y'all.
And they're making a swimming dock here. It's really this bridge itself has got some kind of long history to it. The red lights up at the very, very top of the spires like Swan Island used to be a airport. This was the final approach to Swan Island. The airplanes they fly right over the bridge. Coming up on the left-hand side, this whole mountain range is called Forest Park, which is the largest urban park in the United States. That's urban, not the largest park, but twice the size of Central Park. And Portland has some previous distinction having the largest urban park and the smallest urban park, which is called the Green Park. This one's over Forest Park, about 50 miles of walking. Bridge is a 5.1 bridge. It's actually 5.1 miles away from the train station. That's how the train station, that's how the train companies do it. They name their bridges after the mileage. Over on the right-hand side, you have these red buoys. These are navigational buoys. And if you know one thing about being a captain, it should be this. Keep the red buoys on your right-hand side when you're returning from sea. So the acronym is RED, right return. If you know that much, you know about 98% of what it takes to be a good boat captain. The other 2% roughly equates to keep the bottom of the boat wet and the top of the boat dry. Unless you're a jetboat captain, which kind of blur the lines. On that piling there, that's a cormorant, an aquatic duck that eats fish. This last bridge here, the Broadway Bridge coming up, this is one of the reasons why they don't go into the side of Portland anymore. This is a Bastille Bridge. It was built in the 1920s. It's very, very fragile, and every time they open it up, it's more likely to break. So they minimize the amount of shipping that goes past this bridge, and so that's kind of push shipping in this direction and behind us towards Columbia. All our drawbridges are getting to be over 100 years old. And, build things like this don't.
They built a building into the side of the bridge?
So much that grain elevator passed it. Still big. the movie stars of a movie called Maverick with Mel Gibson and Ray Foster and Jim Dyer. Still take it out, it works, but most of the time it sits here being the Oregon Maritime Museum. Perfect for this kind of river, shallow draft with lots of pushing power. Upgraded bridges for side unit bridge. So if you look down on the left-hand side with the concrete walls coming out of the ground, go up to the metal, like cables or straps everywhere. And that is our increased seismic strength on the bridge. We're expecting a 9.0 earthquake here in Oregon someday. The last one we had was in the 1700s, and that's how 5 weeks ago. Boat coming up on the left-hand side, the port side, that's an electronic boat. Not no gas, only electric boat. Sorry, this is rod. Using the movie called Up for It October. Full tilt submarine, go underwater for about 2 days, up to 800 feet deep, has 100 tons. Great little tour at October. A real good job of that. I was recommending at the time. Number 581 Capital 500 Excursions that nation of West Indies. This one was the first decided to ship like a teardrop that this one
That's where we started at.
It's called Telecom. Telecom is called American word for love the people. And this one, the white lines are cable suspension. They are in the shape of Mount Road, and at night they light up with color. That color tells a story. The story is what's the temperature of the water and how fast it's flowing. I'm going to break that down for you. If you see tonight, it'll be orange and red. That's warm water. During the new year, it'll be cold, blue and purple. And during the spring, green and yellow. So next time you look at the bridge, you'll have an idea what the temperature of the water is. If you look at the spec columns in the middle, those are, if they're dancing around with color, that is, the water is flowing, and if it's static, the water is not moving. Water going into the west side of Portland's system. That's the only source of water for the inner west side of Portland, right over the Ross Island Bridge. So if we had that 9.0 earthquake they're predicting, let's hope that this bridge built in 1919 is built to the test. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go up to Spin Alley. This is where you may get wet, you might even get soaked.
Again, y'all, it's Massillon Tigers to the grave. We had fun. I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm soaked. So anyway, I'll see y'all. Go Tigers. Beat the NFL Academy.